It's not like it doesn't like bend. Watch him sitting here like tugging on that and it just snaps in half. That'd be so tragic. Hi, my name's Leo, and this is what the disappointment of my parents surmised as. Welcome back to my channel, and as you can probably tell by the video title, this is going to be a continued part in my Japan series. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience that I had when I went to the Pokemon Cafe that is in Akihabara with my family in March of 2019. I'm going to share some of the experiences that we had, some of the thoughts that we had while being there, and just give general impressions. I know for a lot of people, including myself, whenever I was thinking about countries I wanted to go to and Japan came up, Pokemon, as you can see, is something that I like. I grew up with Pokemon, and as an adult even, I played Pokemon Go, and there's things that I still enjoy about it. Before you even get to the Pokemon Cafe, you do need to make reservations for this. It's a very popular place. Many of the character dining experiences that I saw in Japan they're popular. I mean, there's a lot of people both in Japan as well as people from traveling around the world who want to go to these. Like Harajuku's Kawaii Monster Cafe, this is something that you need to put a reservation for in advance, otherwise you're likely not going to be able to go. Our reservation was for 8 o'clock, and we had hoped that it'd be a little earlier, but I'm going to tell you again, remind you throughout this video, the reservations, they go so quickly. I believe the Pokemon Cafe opens up every month, so at the beginning or about every month. So if you want to try and get a time slot in, if you want to try and get a reservation for you and your friends or family, you got to be watching the calendar. I suggest leaving reminders in your phone. I do that for a lot of stuff, including Disney, that it just gives you that sort of update like, hey, you wanted to do this thing? Go do it. So we made our reservation, and even though we did make the reservation, it was at 8 o'clock because guess what? All the other ones were taken. Outside the building, there's nothing that really screams Pokemon. It looks like a standard building. Honestly, to me, it looked like a building that residential, a building that people might even live in. We followed it and we went inside. Thankfully, as you start to go into the building, you get little clues and hints that there's something Pokemon related here. So we ended up taking the elevator, we got to the floor, and that's when you open up and it's just Pokemon everywhere. I know it might be a little hard, but in this picture of Snorlax that I have, who is sort of the center figure whenever you go into the lobby of the Pokemon Cafe, behind him is little imprints, little pictures of all of the Pokemon there are, which I think there's over 800 at this point. To the left of Snorlax is going to be the Pokemon Cafe itself, whereas to the right is going to be a Pokemon Center where you can go in and buy merchandise. Outside the line that you would need to go up to sort of get in queue to go to the waiter and talk to them. From my experience, most of the people who were in line leading up to the waiter were people who actually already had their reservations. They were in line because Japan loves lines, and even though you might have a reservation or you might have a ticket that tells you what time to come back, you're probably gonna still wait in a line. At least that's what we did. When we had first entered, I wanna say it was about 7:30, even though our reservation was at 8. We got into the line to talk to the waiter and to sort of check in, at least that's what my American self thought. Well, we got into the line, we ended up waiting through it, and we got to the front, and he asked, what time is your reservation? We said 8, and he immediately was like, oh, all these people in front of you, they have reservations that are before 8 o'clock. So unfortunately, until the sign that they have at the very, I guess, front of the line says your time period, you shouldn't come back, which I guess that makes sense, but being, I guess, an American who just wanted to make sure I was on time, I wanted to check in. While we waited for our reservation to be called, we went over to the Pokemon Center and we took a look at all the merchandise. I am going to show you guys a little bit of my traveler's notebook or traveler's journal, show you a couple of the stickers that I bought, as well as the coaster that I got for I bought a Gengar cup, which I'll show later in this video. Here is the Gengar coaster. Try and have that focus a bit. And then off to the side is a Farfetch'd sticker and a Pikachu sticker. Those are a couple of the things that I bought from the Pokemon Center. Also, I have this page. This was something that I cut out of the placemat that you get whenever you're seated at the Pokemon Cafe. Another sticker, and then another sticker. And then that's just a picture of Sal trying Magikarp snack, which was, that wasn't a part of the Pokemon Cafe, that was from a vendor in Akihabara. Eventually, I am going to make a full video about my traveler's notebook, probably something I want to do at the end of the year as sort of a reflection. Stay tuned for that if you want. I have a lot of Japan stuff in here, even some stuff that maybe I forgot to talk about in previous videos. They finally called us and we went over and we were seated. Now, they told us that there was a special event going on. They had Eevee instead of Pikachu, who was going to come out and dance and sing and jump up and down. Pokemon. They were pretty clear that they did not want pictures with Eevee. They said it was fine if you videoed, but they said no pictures. I think the reason behind that is they just didn't want Eevee to constantly be stopped with kids or adults even wanting to take pictures with the mascot. If you allow video, it makes it a bit easier to, I guess, allow everyone that brief interaction with the Pokemon. Before Eevee came out though, we sat down and we took a look at the menu, which thank God, once again, it was translated into English, not just Japanese, and we were able to make our selections. We also ordered some specialty drinks, which they were pretty good. I got a Gengar cup. I think there was a slushie in there, non-alcoholic, and it was pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, I got it because I wanted the cup, not so much the drink. This is the cup, and it's a little translucent, so it's hard to fully see. Right here you can see Gengar's red eyes and then his smile, of course. The material of the cup, I think it's not bad for what I paid. I want to say I think it was $10 American, which is going to be 1,000 yen. I know that whenever I was over in the country and I went to buy it, I was surprised because I thought it would be more expensive. But this is the little cup. I nowadays drink wine out of it, or orange juice, or even mimosas. When Sal had his food, he was served a Pikachu plate. This is a plate that you do have to pay extra for, of course. We brought this home. We considered getting more of them. I opted not to because I wasn't sure if we were going to even make it back with the plates in the merchandise, because I don't know, maybe things were gonna break. I don't know why I was not against it. Retrospectively, I wish we would have bought a few more because it's a great little plate. It's not like it doesn't like Ben watch him sitting here like putting on and it just snaps in half. That'd be so tragic. I think this was $22 or 2,200 yen. The first is going to be the service we received while at the cafe. The second is going to be the food itself. And third, I just want to talk about the Eevee experience, and then as I said, we'll finish on last thoughts. As you can see in the pictures that I'm sharing, the food was pretty cute in terms of presentation, in terms of how they decided to plate. You can see even Pikachu's butt, which we thought was pretty cute. To be completely fair with you, and I think I said this in the Kawaii Monster Cafe video as well, the food is not that great. You're going for an experience, you're not going for fine cuisine. We thought the food was just okay. I think that for me personally, the food with the Pikachus and Eevee on top of some, I think it's called crisp cut fries, those were probably the best thing. I almost ordered more of that, but that leads me also to talking about the service we received. I felt like, personally, the service was not the best. And I'm not saying that people were rude, I'm not saying that they were even neglectful per se. They were very hustle bustle. You could tell that they needed everything to flow a certain way. If you did not fully make your complete order at the very beginning, your chances are you're not gonna have an opportunity to make that again. If you purchase a drink and you drink all your drink before your food arrives, it's gonna be difficult for you to get more beverages. It was different. Even from the restaurants that we had tried while in Japan, the Pokemon Cafe, in my opinion, allegedly, I felt like was probably subpar with the service. I'm not speaking negative about them by saying that. I really think there's just not enough staff maybe for the volume of people. Plus they're trying to create that experience of it's a Pokemon Center / cafe / Eevee's coming out, and there's just a lot going on. I suppose if you plan to go, maybe keep that in mind. Get everything you want in one single order, because although I loved those fries, and those fries were probably the best part of all that, I wasn't able to like make a second order, and as you can see in the picture, it's not as if there were a ton of fries. Keep that all in mind, keep it in perspective. Finally, let's talk about Eevee. Eevee replaced Pikachu. Again, that was mentioned to us beforehand. I personally am a Pikachu guy over Eevee. I do think that Pokemon as a company is pushing Eevee a bit more. I think it's easier for them to do that, and that's probably a whole nother video, honestly. I just think that Eevee is easier to maybe eventually replace Pikachu as a mascot, or even come alongside Pikachu and have sort of two different mascots, because Eevee can turn into so many different things. And if you don't know what I'm talking about because you don't know what Pokemon are, or you've never paid attention, this all sounds crazy. I know. Just understand that Eevee has more flexibility as a character in the company of Pokemon than really Pikachu does. My daughter, on the other hand, is obsessed with Eevee. Going to Japan, she had Eevee from Build-A-Bear Workshop and was loving it. Honestly, that's one toy that as she gets older, I'll probably end up keeping, because it got so dirty and nasty because she played with it so much. It went everywhere with her in the car and just out and about, and I cherish that. I love that. When Eevee came out, that clearly was exciting for her. She ran over to Eevee and was trying to interact along with a lot of other people. We sat back and we videoed, as you can see in the clips that I'm sharing. I do wish that maybe there was a chance to have taken a picture with Eevee, or taken a picture with maybe even a sort of statue Pokemon, a big variant of that, of Pikachu, because although there was that Snorlax figure out in the middle, and I did take a picture with that, I think that maybe there could have been something a bit more. Overall, on a scale of 0 to 5 stars, I give the Pokemon Cafe 3. I don't think that's bad. I think it's slightly above average. I think that there's a lot that I enjoyed about it. There's a lot that I was grateful that I got to take home, sort of little souvenirs, such as the cup and the plate and the placemat get to come home with you, and the coaster. I liked that. And I think that a lot of people who are traveling far and wide are also going to like that. Would I go back? Yeah. As much as I maybe said I wasn't a fan of the service, as much as I said maybe I'm not a fan of the food, I would go back, order a ton of fries, and I would have a great time watching whatever Pokemon they decided to parade around. We concluded that night by finishing up at the Pokemon Cafe. We then made the journey back to our Airbnb, which was the home away from home, by taking the train, and it was a really good night that I'm really lucky and grateful and blessed to have had. If you get a chance to go to the Pokemon Cafe because you happen to be visiting Japan, do it. You won't regret it. Even if Pokemon's not your favorite thing in the world, it's a big cultural icon. You'll enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Of course, I appreciate that. I am so grateful, and it may sound cliche or even fake, but I really am happy that there's people who have decided to spend time with me and to use some of their time to watch the things that I make. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be putting up a new video next week. Bye.